how's it going? This is Talkback Tuesdays, 29th of March. Wow, we have an amazing person backstage, Matt Bowden, a pioneer, entrepreneur, industry legend. He's got so much to offer this community, this country, and we're going to bring him on really soon. Wow, how about that Oscars moment last night? Will Smith, Chris Rock, boom! Oh my God, that was awkward. I don't know where I sit on that one, kind of on the fence. I can see both sides. So at least Will apologize and hello, Chris Rock is a comedian, but yeah, maybe not everyone knew about Jada's condition with her hair loss. So let's just breathe and move on, and let's just bring in Matt, because he, just like I said, is full of information, and he's a valuable guy, and he is always forward thinking in the industry of vitamins, health, well-being. So let's go. Kia ora, Matt Bowden. Woohoo!
Hey, how's it going?
So good to see you. Gosh, you look really well, and we're so honored to have you on the show once more. So have you had a good week so far?
I guess it's just been a beautiful week. I realized when I checked the weather that we had 3 days right here in Auckland anyway of sunshine. And then before that, it was getting a little rainy. And so it was like, you know what? I'm just going to relocate my office and take a little tent to the beach and just kind of sit there, jump in the ocean and enjoy the sunshine while we've got it, you know?
I love the ocean, and yeah, the sunshine. It's actually still very warm for autumn. And daylight savings ends this Saturday night?
Oh, does it? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Follow that stuff. I'm not a cow, but all good. I do love jumping in the ocean, though. You know, you just dive in under that water and then get your head under and just do a big fat old snort, you know, and just try to inhale through your nose as much water as you can, and keeps coming out for the next few hours when you're at home. And if you lean forward, these crystal droplets of H2O come out. But it's just a real great way to clean the sinuses. And
wow. Well, seawater is so good for the skin, and there's just something so refreshing and pure about it. It's so pure. But yeah, I love doing the old dolphin dives whenever I'm swimming. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm a dolphin. All of a sudden, yeah.
Really? Is that your spirit animal? Is your spirit animal a dolphin, or?
Possibly, yeah. Because I always wanted to study marine biology. So yeah, anything marine related. Turtles, whales, dolphins.
They can tell when we're thinking about them, can't they? You know, you can call them out and they kind of gravitate in. A friend of mine's dad was working on a project actually to sort of decode and communicate with dolphins, because they're kind of right up there intelligence-wise. I don't know how.
Oh, that's interesting you say that, because I love recording birds and nature sounds and birds. So I would want to know how to record sea life underwater and what equipment you would need to do that.
Yeah, what equipment? I wouldn't dump any of my mics straight in the ocean, I'll tell you that.
No.
But I'm not going to get rained on. But yeah.
But anyway,
travel through water. Yep.
This is not about me. This is about you, Matt. So this is great, and we're going to invite people to chat. So let's just check. Oh, hi, David. Yay, Matt. Hi, Matt and Celine. Okay, this is
Hello, David.
This is Recap Dave, and he has been a broadcaster before. So obviously, anyone that's been a broadcaster is inspiring to me. So we're going to let you talk, Matt, about what you're launching. You're launching My Vitamin Bank, isn't that right?
Totally. Yeah. I just think we need a next level of protection, and and a lot of it is in natural health. And just notice that with what just happened, I know the restrictions are coming off now. So I'm imagining if the restrictions are coming off, we're allowed to go. Maybe the restrictions are going to come off what we're allowed to say. Maybe we're allowed to talk more openly about, about science and about health and how to protect ourselves. Fingers crossed. And so I noticed during and I'm going to speak really in past tense about the pandemic, that one of the things that was going on is that a lot of research was coming out on vitamin D, and that if you had your vitamin D at the right levels, then you're probably not going to end up in hospital with any serious illness. And then it's kind of was really kind of wondering, it was such a bummer that information was so frozen up and you weren't allowed to really talk about it. And the Ministry of Health, we asked them and they didn't have any information on it. But it would be so good if the next time around, if everybody knew that you can use vitamin D. It's the most powerful thing really against these sort of viruses. And then that got me thinking, what about if people don't have vitamin D? What about if people can't afford it? We need to set up a vitamin bank. Firstly, so that the information that people are getting about how to give their body everything that needs, so that their body can be as well as possible to resist disease. We want to make sure that information is really solid and factual, and then we want to make sure people have got access to good vitamins and materials. And then I kind of felt, what would happen if just off in the future, maybe if our government had run out of cash, or were in a sort of a situation where they were kind of really tied up with profit-based corporations and weren't so helpful in terms of getting us natural health solutions, we would then need to be able to provide our own. So my plan is this: moving forwards, next level is to build a business whose purpose really is to become the vitamin bank, so that if anybody in the community needs natural health assistance, they can come to the vitamin bank. And if you can't afford your vitamins, then you can get them for free. That's going to mean, of course, that people that can afford their vitamins and some technology can come to us and spend some money. And so my model that I'm rolling out next is the model of a business that becomes a not-for-profit and becomes like a community asset. So we're pulling together and wanting to attract academics to work on the best technology for health, to put that into a pool that we can develop products, sell fancy stuff to rich people, and Robin Hood that out and give vitamins out to people that need it free of charge. So that's what I'm going to start doing. That's what I've started doing.
Gosh. Have you ever wanted to be a doctor of some sort, or some sort of like a naturopath, or you're like, I think you're overqualified.
I don't know. I've kind of ended up studying in order to manage groups of scientists. I've kind of studied a bunch of pharmacology, biochemistry, toxicology, all these kind of bits and pieces in organic chemistry. And so now I've got these teams of people around me. And just really what we sort of have in common, I guess, is a love of nature, and that the human body that we're all sitting in is the most sophisticated piece of technology really on the planet. And it really knows how to look after itself and put itself back together if it's given the right building blocks and materials,
Yeah. I have a quick question about like the vitamins affect or impact the well-being and of your physicality, or the way everything functions. But for the mind, I wonder, you'd be quite a good counselor. So do you that's quite separate to vitamins affecting the physicality and the functioning. So
well, there's a tie, I guess, between the mind and the brain. Are you meaning the brain?
Because like when the body is happy, the mind is happier. Like, it's like if your body is kind of feeling sick or sore or unwell, it does affect the mind.
Yeah. Is it cause and effect though, or is there a relationship between the two? Because if you can get yourself into the right state of mind, maybe you can use the energy that comes from that wellspring to feed the body. I mean, if you read Dr. Joe Dispenza, that You Are the Placebo, looking at how people who are told that they're going to get better in a clinical trial and given a placebo pill, often their cancers will go into remission and diseases will go away because the mind is able to produce whatever the body needs. And so then when you understand that, you think, well, there must be some way to trigger that mechanism without using a placebo to be able to overcome any illness,
Brilliant. That's a brilliant response. I don't know where to go from here. Gosh, man, that is awesome.
So looking at the brain, I guess why don't we look at the brain? Things you can do
Yeah.
with your brain. If you're not feeling happy, your brain's a little bit like your car. You know, you pick up the bottom of the car and you've got like your petrol goes in here and there's oil and there's an automatic transmission fluid and there's this water and that water, but don't do that. There's all these different fluids and fuels, and your brain's like that. It's got serotonin, it's got dopamine,
Yeah.
and it's got all these different things, neurotransmitters, we call them. These transmitters, these messengers that travel around the body. And this is what we kind of study in pharmacology. If you're sad, often it's because your serotonin levels are low. And so you go buy some tryptophan or get some food with some tryptophan or 5-hydroxytryptophan. Serotonin levels came back, and then you're happy again. If you feel like you're just a piece of useless crap, sometimes it means your dopamine levels are low.
Right.
And so your body needs to go and get some tyrosine. The targeted proteins you need. It's like amino acids. Tyrosine is one, and tryptophan is one, and so on and so on.
Yeah, like with insomnia, yeah, I am a long time sufferer of insomnia. But I mean, it's not too chronic anymore. But anyway, if you don't get enough sleep, you can actually act like you've had a few drinks the next day, because you get a little bit dizzy, weary. You kind of, you're a little bit affected by the loss of sleep, and you maybe a little bit less productive even. So
and are you able to find joy in those moments, or do you become...
because I actually find the early hours when I'm awake, I'm actually quite creative. So
real lucidity, and
you just have to embrace it and not fight it.
So is that all the information bubbling up that would normally come to you in dream time? Is that have you got access to that kind of around, do you think, when you're kind of...
I have heaps of dreams, quite visual dreams, like nature dreams. Sometimes stressful dreams, but just sometimes like beautiful views, oceans, beaches. Just just sometimes some crazy scenarios. Totally.
Was it Salvador Dali who used to try to sit like this with his fingers here? So as soon as he went to sleep, his finger would go in his eye, and so he used to do these kind of things so that he would stay awake for days on end, because by day 2 of sleep deprivation, I think by day 3 of sleep deprivation, normally you've got open eye visuals going on, which some people have explanations, but in this
totally. I've definitely had that. Like years ago, if I've stayed up 2 days in a row, you definitely have hallucinations, feeling quite euphoric.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you don't try it, you don't know. So,
So have you tried supporting that with tryptophan, 5-HTP, those kind of serotonin precursors to go?
No, I don't know what is tryptophan. I don't actually know what tryptophan is.
I'm going to give you how about a quick run through for anybody who's having trouble sleeping, who wants to know what does natural medicine have for them? What is their body maybe looking for? The first thing is this, that serotonin is involved with when you go to sleep, okay? Serotonin is a neurotransmitter, one of those fuels in the brain. Also, it's involved with regulating your mood. Also, it's involved with your stomach saying when it's had enough food. Serotonin, when you've run out of that, your body is looking for something. It's looking for tryptophan. So when you eat food, you have proteins, and the targeted proteins you need, 11 of them are essential amino acids. One of them is called tryptophan. Tryptophan is used for making serotonin out of. That comes out of things like turkey and certain nuts and that. And you should be able to just go and buy it from the pharmacy, except they started restricting it because it was messing up the sales for Prozac. And so the next thing that happens after tryptophan turns into something called 5-hydroxytryptophan, which comes out of a plant in Africa called Graphonia simplicifolia. And if you take that 5-hydroxytryptophan and eat that, you might find that you can sleep. If your sleep deprivation was serotonin related, 5-HTP will help you sleep. If that doesn't work, magnesium is another good one, because magnesium is something else which just travels around in the channels in your brain and so on. And then another one would be theanine. What theanine does, it's another amino acid. It comes out of green tea. It causes a release of GABA, and GABA is the neurotransmitter which is sort of relaxing and chilling out.
Cool.
So I would try 200 megs of theanine, I would try magnesium, and I would try tryptophan and 5-HTP. And I probably might try a little bit of cannabis as well. It works for some people. Are you allowed to say that yet?
You can say whatever you like. Nothing is what is it? What's the word? I don't remember now. What's the word? Wait. Yeah. Anyway, you can say whatever you like. We're not going to get cancelled.
Yeah, you can't. That's it. Yeah. CBD's really
try it. Just try and cancel us. It's not possible.
Yes.
Anyway, you are on a mission. You're always working on something cool, aren't you? So
Yeah.
you've got anti-aging pills, right?
Yeah. So now this is amazing. There's this Harvard, I think, yes, scientist, and his name's David Sinclair, and he starts looking at aging because a lot of people die of old age, and there's a certain time in your life where everything just seems to crap out at once, right? And so he notices this and then wonders if there's any kind of centralized contributing factor to a lot of age-related decline. And one of the things that he studies is NAD. And I know it just sounds like NAD, but NAD is involved in your cells, and its job is to pick up electrons from one place and bring them to the next place. So it's the transmission of electrons, of electricity in your cells, really. And NAD, he theorizes, is as it starts to sort of decline, all the old age stuff kicks in. So he thinks maybe this is causative, and so starts doing studies in mice. And so you've got a bunch of mice there, and some of the mice are running around being young mice and they're having a jolly good time, whereas other mice are old, they can't reproduce anymore, and they can't see so well, and they just want to curl up and die. And so what David does is he says, what happens? Oh, that's my little light ring just popping out there. What happens if we can increase their NADS levels? Okay, and so he finds fancy ways of increasing the NAD level in the mice. And what happens is amazing. The old mice that were just curled up in a corner, just kind of like, are you allowed to say postmenopausal or whatever, and they kind of freaked out, they get up and start running around. And the mice that couldn't run around before are able to actually start mating and stuff. All this crazy stuff starts happening with the mice. And so he thinks, boy, oh boy, I want to try some of that myself. And so humans start developing ways of increasing the NAD. And we find that, what are you allowed to say here?
Can I just interrupt you? Can we just say what NAD actually stands for?
Is it nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide, I think, which means vitamin B3 that has got in your body and has slightly processed into something else, and now it transmits the energy around inside your cells. That's what it is. Okay, NAD. Wow. Yeah. So to increase your NAD levels, there's a couple of ways of doing it. One of them is that they're both natural substances you consume. One of them is NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide. The other one is NR, nicotinamide riboside, otherwise known as Niagen. And so what people have found is if you take these compounds and eat them, it increases your NAD levels, that when your NAD levels are increased, what do people say? People say that they are able to think a lot more clearly, and that, like in the mice who had Alzheimer's, after they boosted their NAD levels, they could remember again. So similar things have happened in research with humans, similar things, not to the whole degree of being able to launch a medicine yet, but just kind of similar things. And people find that you've got a lot more energy. Like I take these things and I find that when I can go to the gym, I feel like a much younger person. When I'm exerting myself in other physical exercise, I feel like a much younger person. And just generally the mind is so clear, throughout the day and so on. And so these are now available in supplement form. And so what I did is with my team members worked out that if we just took, some people like the one compound, some people like the other, we just put them together into one pill and make the price a bit better than everybody else. And this is called Extra Life. And this is available now.
I'll bring up the website for you.
Yeah. Do that.
Okay. So you bring that up to the camera and I'll bring up your website here. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's a little bit of it. Is this one going? Let's see how the camera.
Yeah.
So that's not.
It's a little bright. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just go. So it's NMN plus NR, and this is a bottle of 30 caps, which is like $70, but we'll give you guys all a $20 discount. Just try them for $50 delivered to your door. If you use the code Mates Rates, which is going to be here in the chat, and just try these and let me know what you think. And we will build our business up a little bit, and we will build ourselves a vitamin bank. But we'll be doing it with sharp minds and feeling younger and able to run around like mice.
Awesome. And Matt, how's the music going?
How's music going? I'm actually just thinking
Song.
about that. I should take my old, because the first EP that I put out is not on Spotify, and
Oh, it should be.
got a track all about just personal freedom and how important it is that we safeguard personal freedom. And I really want to put that out now, even though it's an older one. We had this guy on our advisory team called Steve Miller, and Steve, he grew up in New York, and he was caught with heroin back in the 60s or something, caught with drugs, and got told you can serve your state in the state penitentiary, or you can go serve your country in Vietnam. So he went to Vietnam because he thought an overseas trip sounded cool, became a nurse, and used to administer and used to see people right at the end of their life. Came back, did the medic tent at Woodstock, then came to New Zealand, wrote the nursing syllabus at Massey University, and he was one of the founding members of our Stargate group, and he founded Angel Care and trained up all the young clubbers and how to take their drugs safely, and how to talk to each other when if one of your friends is on meth. And he used to run a 24-hour, 7-day helpline back when the meth thing was big and we were doing Angel Care. And
Wow.
And yeah, that was his statement. The question is, should people be able to alter their consciousness? And you're saying, well, that's a question of personal freedom. And, veterans have paid with their lives for these freedoms. And so taking away personal freedoms kind of spits on what veterans died for. And so that was a track that I put out that I'm going to put onto Spotify soon. You've just reminded me.
Is this you? Is it electronic? Is it acoustic? And you singing, or do you have a backing band, or what's
that one's kind of a chill electronic with lots of guitar solos, because I was getting into playing by guitar solos a bit. And then after that, I put out an album which is a psychedelic rock, which is a big concept album. Which, as I was traveling around the world, I was just recording sounds everywhere and blended all that in, and just big, stonking, great rock songs. And with a movie about a mad scientist who got chased out of town and came back with some good ideas, which I felt was a prophetic story of my life. And while we were filming the movie, 60 Minutes showed up, made a horrible story about me, which resulted in me being chased out of town and having to go in exile and live in hideout in Thailand for 5 years. And now I'm back, and hopefully these are good ideas. So check that out. Look up on YouTube, look up Starboy Eternity Trilogy and watch that, because that's
I mean, you've reached many heights, and people have tried to cut you down. But I'm all for tall poppies. I actually support tall poppies, I think. Well, but you can do it in a way that, you can just do it in a way.
Yeah, I think
Don't worry.
It's like a hero's journey. So, like, we'd made, a lot of.
Do not worry. I think Matt, you're really an original in this country. Sure, you could make it anywhere in the world. That you choose to live here.
I felt strongly. I sat in Thailand for 5 years just to do meditation and chill out and try to cope with what had happened, and then went up to the Netherlands and started working there, sort of a little bit in drug policy. And they were really going backwards. They wanted to go back away from regulation. They wanted to ban marijuana up there. Everyone else in the world realized that's a dumb idea. But then we're sitting there, and I said to my kids, we need to try to see as much of Europe as we can, because my feeling is everything's going to be shut down soon, and everything's going to be closed. I didn't know why. It's just a premonition. I'm like, I've got that kind of gift. And then next minute, the day that we left was the day COVID hit. And I just felt, I feel like we're going to be back in New Zealand soon. We're going to have to do something really important. And then here we are. And so,
yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
I love life. I love it.
My phone comes up with memories all the time, and it's just like, okay, it's pretty much saying, look at you then and look at you now.
Really?
2 to 3 years, and it comes up with memories from years ago. And
because of
Yeah, it's funny because you see the photo and you remember that exact moment. You're like, oh yeah,
yeah.
that was our first lockdown. Oh my god, yeah, I remember exactly where I was and it was what I was cooking that night. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's
There's only
funny.
one moment. Time's an illusion. Your phone's only doing that because it can't see forwards. It's trapped. All it can see is backwards in the past. But there's a forwards as well. And you might as well enjoy that now.
Oh yes, always looking forward because mindset, mindset is the ultimate freedom.
It is.
It
Yeah.
takes work though. It takes work and dedication and commitment to train your mind, retrain your mind.
Yeah, it does. And if you've got the right levels of NAD, that helps as well.
We're going to put this in the show notes. All this, yeah, this NAD. You know, this
You
sort
ready
of.
for another one? Because this is something which I'm really, really excited about. I made this product and it's called, I'm not sure really what I should call it. It's because it's a spike detox. And I was thinking about just calling it Snuffles. So what happened is this. Back at the start of the pandemic, before people were allowed to really just speak openly about, when people were still openly allowed to speak openly, yeah. Some people asked the computers, supercomputers, which molecules are going to be the most useful for dealing with this particular illness. And they showed the computers what the virus looked like. And the computers came back and says, well, there's two of these things which are going to map really tightly into the receptor sites to protect your sort of your angiotensin system from the virus, and are going to destroy the virus. And these things, quercetin was one, and black cumin seed was another. And shortly after that, we weren't allowed to really talk about these things anymore. But if you take those herbal extracts, they're actually really, really useful in the fact that what ended up happening is that just like you've got that serotonin we talked about in your brain, there's another thing which flows around your body called angiotensin. And angiotensin regulates your heart and blood pressure and the sort of structure and quality of your blood. And so what happened with the virus and with the medicines as well is that there's that little spike protein they talked about plugs into those angiotensin sites. And so that's why some people were having heart problems and clotting and so on. And so what the piece of information that was missing in our messaging is, how can I protect my ACE2 system? How can I support my body to protect my angiotensin system so that nothing else is getting in those receptor sites? And the answer had come from the supercomputers, black cumin seed oil, quercetin, things like this. So I've got this formula now, which has got black cumin seed, and it's got quercetin, and it's got bromelain and N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine, of course, really powerful antioxidant. That's the stuff they put in the nebulizers at the hospital if you go in there with asthma and you need to get that on that inhaler. That's N-acetylcysteine, totally natural. Actually, it occurs naturally in garlic. And it goes through and it cleans out, it sort of dissolves all the mucus and cleans out the lungs so you can breathe again. So when
Have you ever had asthma?
Yes, I was chronic asthmatic as a child. So I was
Same.
in hospital a few times and thought I was going to die, and
Whoa.
had the hardcore inhalers. Yeah.
Yeah, I developed asthma as a mid to late teen and was given, 3 types of inhalers. I was put on a nebulizer one day.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was pretty scary. So as you probably can understand. Yeah, and I think there was something to do. I don't know this for a fact, but it could have something to do with gas heating. Could have been a contributing factor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I
From
just
there a
remember,
little?
yeah, but it was very scary not being able to breathe, and then just put suddenly on this nebulizer thing, and it was just pure oxygen. It was so cold. It was
Was
cold.
or
Yeah,
was medicine
beautiful. Yeah, this was in Palmerston
in there?
North.
Because often they'll
Yeah,
put that N-acetyl nebulizer in. Right.
yeah.
Okay.
But I think,
And how did that feel?
yeah, it was just pure cool, cold air, and obviously I started to relax once I could breathe properly. But have you ever done like breathing exercises or recommended that sort of thing to people to chill the fuck out? Like, chill out, fucking breathe, man. Like, because sometimes you're like, get really stressed, and sometimes
Yeah.
you just all you can actually do is shut your mouth and breathe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have I ever done it? I guess in Thailand, I did the Vipassana a few times. So you go hang out in the monastery and they make you wear clothes that I wouldn't normally wear.
Or like smocks, or
Yeah, and then you sit and you just kind of sit lotus for a few hours at a time. And the idea of the meditation is that you focus just on your breathing, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and think about nothing else, and it shuts down the rest of your mind so that you can see what's going on. But what I would recommend people check out is Wim Hof's breathing methods, learning how to breathe, so that you can like if you focus on your breathing, you can get into ice cold water and so on. And have you seen all that stuff? And it kind of boosts the immune system.
Yeah, Benny Mac, he's our guy here, our fact checker co-host. He does the ice cold barrel bath thing.
Where's the Benny Mac? Because there's no fact checking happening. We could be just be talking about rubbish, frankly.
Well, he's actually in the South Island. He has a job in the South Island, and he's enjoying his time in beautiful South Island. It is an extraordinary island.
It is extraordinary. It's beautiful, but they do have internet there, don't they?
They do have internet, so he'll be back.
Okay.
I'll make him come back. We'll make him come back, and he'll be back for your next appearance.
Okay, well, he can fact check. He can fact check the quercetin, the bromelain, the N-acetylcysteine, that's what's in nebulizers, that it's used for. Because when I got COVID a couple of weeks ago, and
really,
yeah, and so I'm a naturally healthy person. I said no thanks to the other options that were offered because I know how the stuff works, and so I had difficulty breathing for a couple of days. So I knew something was up. Can't breathe. That's a bit weird. But N-acetylcysteine and 600 mgs just kind of punches that out and just clears it up pretty quickly. And then quercetin and black seed oil kind of stop it going anywhere that it shouldn't. And so that's what's in these pills. A lot of people were having trouble finding N-acetylcysteine. That's why I made it.
So that one you're holding up right now, that one's called.
This one is called Pine Spike. It's got bromelain, NAC, and black seed. And what I really want to do with this, I'm going to make it for every bottle I sell, I'm going to give a bottle away for people that will give us feedback. But if you've got anything lingering, either from COVID or, let's be honest, from the injections, if there's something lingering that's not feeling right, then I'd like to hear from you if you want to try these and see if the NAC, bromelain, and quercetin works the way that the supercomputers and the other research has told us that it would, and if it could just kind of clear it out really quickly. If so, then we'll just keep this in production and keep it nearby so that anytime anyone needs it, we can send them out some, because no one wants that lingering yuck going on. And I got a leaflet in the letterbox saying, here's what to do for your COVID, have a couple of aspirins and don't do anything and don't go anywhere. But it's just like the information seemed really thin,
Well, the last few days I've been feeling a little bit off, like not 100%, a little bit run down, which I get like that. But I don't know if it's the change of season or whatever. But also Michelle, she's our Friday night host, and sometimes we do Sundays. She had COVID. She got cleared to go to Australia, came back, but she's still having symptoms, like a little bit of a cough and just these annoying niggly symptoms. So I may recommend this to her.
Well, if she wants to try some of this, then I would be really interested to hear if it works like it's supposed to. Yeah, and then if it does, then we'll work with the university and we'll do a clinical trial, and then we'll be able to register as a medicine if we have to do that, or whatever we have to do so that they don't stop us giving it out to people.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So anything else you want to share? Or
just all my love.
Oh, look, who's this? Someone. Oh, hi. Good work, champ. Looks promising. I'll be giving it a go from Ace Andrews.
Ace. Cool, bro. Nice to hear from you.
Totally.
Yeah. There was this whole crew of us that used to do a lot of clubbing back in the early noughties. And this is where I know Ace from. And then it's just been really nice since coming back into New Zealand to be able to hang out again and see Ace out there. Yeah.
Matt, have you been to Singapore?
Yes, I've been to Singapore.
Okay. So have you been to Zouk? Zouk Club?
Zouk?
Yeah, that's a nightclub.
If I went there, I can't remember it now.
Okay, here's another quick fire question. Have you been to London?
Yes, I've been to London. Yeah.
Right,
I
and have
went
you
up
been
there.
to...
I went to try to sell some. I can just tell you stories if you like.
Yeah.
So we developed, we've worked out a fancy way to make CBD, and someone was saying, "Oh, you come and talk to the tobacco industry." So we go up there to talk to the tobacco. We get flown in, put in this fancy hotel, and then they're like, "Oh, these boys wanted to, they wanted to have a conversation with me, and I guess to impress me." And so we wanted to go to Buddha Bar, but they wanted to vape, and so they went to Buddha Bar and said, "We want to vape," and Buddha Bar said, "You can't," and they said, "Yeah." Get everyone else out of the room, and so they just booked the whole restaurant and just emptied the place so that we could all sit down at a table and these guys could vape, and then it just got crazier and crazier, and then all the actually this is going to go R18. No, I don't know if I can go there. Yeah, we might have to just can the story.
Do it.
I said, what do we go to a club or something? And so we go to this club, and this is like an amazing club with dancers coming out of the ceiling and stuff and all of this, and they got this table up behind the DJ booth, which was just all just like this troughs full of bottles of like the fanciest ass French champagne. Even at the restaurant, they just went to the champagne menu, start at the $10,000 bottles, and then cane, just watching these people. We're just thinking,
Nice.
Oh, this is the way. This is the. Yeah, I think I'm gonna write an autobiography a while ago. I'm just talking to some people about making it into a thing, because I've ended up, working with terrorists and gangsters and sort of probably in all of the continents, just about cruising around and trying to straighten out the way that the drug business goes. And
so, have people contacted you as like a bridge to get information, or yeah, I mean,
yeah, some countries are polite about it, and some countries are fuckwits, to be honest. Excuse that language. But like the EU said to me, "Why don't you come talk to the European Monitoring Centre on Drugs and Drugs Abuse?" So I went up and talked to them. But it's when I was on tour. When I was on tour doing a theatrical rock show, the only clothes I have are like, all this kind of real psychedelic-y stuff. My hair's all coloured, and my nails are all painted. I've got the big boots. I'm like, well, I can come and do a meeting, but I don't have my corporate wardrobe at the moment, just my rock and roll one. And so they, oh, that's cool. So we cruised up there, and they just had a dag, and everyone kind of, we stayed there half the night in the end. And then they said, why don't you go and talk to the EU government? And because that'd be a dag. They might blindfold you and drive you to a secret location or something. We don't know. So we go to Brussels and went to the EU government, and they just sat there and just asked us to basically tell them some stories about, what we'd seen around the place and how the different gangsters kind of act with each other. And that you don't want to get yourself, shot or blown up, but they just want to know just roughly how stuff is working in different places, And
yes, sometimes eyes open, mouth closed, sort of thing. But wow, yeah.
So
it's good, man.
My life. It's been a really, really interesting life, and just like, I just think whatever you imagine that you can do in your wildest imaginations, if you just put your mind and believe, then you can actually, reality is remarkably accommodating to sort of bend its way around to your will if you just keep putting the energy out there. I think things are designed that way. We are the I am resides in each of us, and we can just create and change.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Where if you don't believe in anything, you're just gonna fall into any old track, and you're gonna probably go off the tracks. So I think you actually have to stand for something, believe in something, realized in your heart what is it that you actually want, and that can take years. That can take years, because that can change as well, right? With time.
Totally. It can change. Yeah. I was making pills. I thought people might want to take pills to get high, but now I'm kind of thinking, well, better if we just make things where the side effects are all really positive. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really think we should have an independent sort of secondary health system in our country that doesn't have interference, or doesn't it's not dependent on the government.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how would we do that? How would we set that up? Would you need private investors, or imagine if you could walk into work and then there'd be a big old glass bowl of pills there, and this is like
Yeah. So
either like
the next
pure.
call put out is for investors saying, if you want to invest in, I know that I can take this longevity technology and make it way more effective if investment money comes in, and then, but I don't really want investors that come in and take control or need to keep making profits forever. The investors that I want are ones, people that want to give this a push. Put your money in, then you will get your money back out with some. And then after that, the company wants to buy those shares back so that as the company does really well, selling products that make rich people bodies look nicer or something, we're going to take that money and put it into creating vitamins and that for people that don't have so much money and can't afford it, so that that are sick as well. And we just leave that sitting there, like it just creates another level of protection around our health, just another level of infrastructure to support the infrastructure of government, which looks like it might kind of crap out. Are they expensive?
Yeah, David.
The anti-aging pills here is for sort of 30 pills is $70. I'll do them to you for 50 at the moment, delivered, to see what they're like. And if you find that you really like them and go, okay, this is cool, how much can I afford to spend? We'll work out, well, how much for people that are doing it for a longer period of time, for a few months, what sort of subscription cost? We haven't worked that out quite yet, but we're going to make this affordable, and we're going to take that money and find a way to make this way more affordable by making it way more effective. That's what we're going to do. That was the anti-aging ones. And then
there you go.
the other ones is just $40. If you really can't afford the spike detox ones, then just write to us and say, hey, I can't afford these because whatever the reason is, and can you just send me some because I need them because my mum's sick or whatever. And we're going to find a way of doing that by making somebody else buy some, and we'll give one away for everyone that we sell. So we're just working around that, just trying to set that model up. I've never done.
What do you call it? Why is it called spike detox?
Because there's a particular protein floating around the planet at the moment, which comes off the edge of that SARS-CoV, which is called the spike protein. And it's the same thing which they've used in the injections as well. And that spike protein is seems to be toxic in itself. It potentially can cause some problems by itself. And so for some people that are still not quite feeling right, or prone to strokes or heart attacks or that sort of thing, we just want to see if there's a way to support your body in protecting itself from that spike protein. Yeah.
Well, it's just I asked that because fascinated, and also because we have a new ambassador for Talkback. A new what do you call it? Mascot. We have a new mascot, and his name is Spike. And do you want to know anything more about Spike?
Really?
Yeah, we have he's a baby hedgehog. Yeah, Benny Mac adopted this baby hedgehog.
Okay, well,
yeah,
just rewind the interview. Why is it called Spike? Because we've named it after the hedgehog. That's what I'm going to say from now on. It's named after a hedgehog.
Yeah, it's the cutest little thing you've ever seen. Yeah. So he's our mascot, and we need to raise money to feed our baby, our mascot Spike.
Yes.
That's why we've got Buy Me a Coffee /Talkback NZ. But yeah, we can unplug that at the end. But now, Matt,
wait a second.
Matt, what's your favorite? Do you have a pet? Do you have a favorite animal?
I just want to investigate this thing about Spike,
I'll
because
send you
I remember one night I was lying in my bed, and outside my window I heard this sound, and it was just scraping. I didn't know what the hell the sound was. And so eventually it just kept going on. And I looked out my window, and you know what was out there? Not one hedgehog, but two. Okay. And so what I would say is, I don't think I don't think hedgehogs need coffee. I think they eat snails and dodgy stuff like
Or scraps,
so.
compost. I don't know.
So why are you fundraising to feed a hedgehog? What's really going on?
Well, no, we're actually fundraising to pay for the show. You know, the overheads of running a production. Hello.
Oh,
Yeah, as you know, there's like lots of bits and pieces that need to be put together, and you know, my time is very valuable.
of course.
But it's fun. This is the most fun job I've ever done.
Really? And so if people are watching this and thinking, yeah, well, I want to contribute to that, how can I do that? What do they
Well,
do?
yeah, Matt, you can back me up here. We're actually looking for new hosts. We're looking for new hosts Monday, Tuesday, possibly Thursday, and maybe one Sunday a month. And they get to talk about what they want to talk about. So we'll, you know, plug them half hour to 1 hour. You know, if you're organized, you can stay for 1 hour, but you need to be able to run Restream. That's why I'm offering a Restream.io course, and you need to email me, selena@spain.nz, if you want to do the course and take charge of your own show. Matt,
So
you would be a great host.
You're doing courses and hosting your own live talkback show, and are you selling these courses? Is that what's going on?
Yes, there's a small charge for the course information, but it is negotiable. It's negotiable. If you email me, we will chat, and then we'll sort of discuss what sort of level you're at. And, you know, if you're a complete beginner, hey, we're open to complete beginners. I was an intern here on this show, and look at me now. I'm absolutely running the show because they've put up with me, and they've put up with my shit for quite a while, at least 6 months. And yeah, and it's really fun. And they love my energy, and they love that I got you back, Nat. Yeah.
When you were a little girl, were you thinking, watching TV, thinking, when I grow up, I'm going to have a TV show?
Well, I always wanted to be a singer, and like I can actually sing on some days, but I find the more I look after myself, like with fitness, my voice actually changes, becomes stronger. And also when I go through emotional pain, that actually helps my voice as well.
Emotional pain helps your voice.
Yeah, I know. Weird, hey? Weird, but true.
No, I don't think it's weird. I think that's entirely fitting that
Very vulnerable.
should help someone find their voice, and that your voice would become clearer, you know, as you go through. Because we come into this life, and I like the idea that we agree to the that we want before. I was just watching someone at the beach today in a wheelchair, and just you know, for someone that's in a wheelchair, for them to go for a swim, they need a whole bunch of other people to kind of help them out, you know. And just looking at, you know, we choose these challenges that we're going to accept in our lives so that we can learn from them and develop as a soul before it goes on to its next.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to introduce you to my cousin, Paul Barrett. He was on the show last year.
Yep.
He was in Highlight Reel. Paul Barrett, yeah. So he's in North Queensland. He's a hypnotherapist. So,
Cool.
yeah. And he probably has heard of you. You may have already met him. I don't know, because he was born and bred in Auckland. But
Nice.
he's been in Aussie for years and years, so.
Australia. There's a question sitting here from a Benny McEwen saying, how do we get in touch with products now in Aussie? And so other people were asking as well if I can send these things internationally. I haven't. I guess years ago I used to send interesting things to Australia. I just used to put a piece of paper in there with a piece of legislation saying Australians are allowed to import up to a 90-day supply of any medicines not available locally. And so I know I can send it. I think if you go to my website, everlastingfoundation.com, I think I just put in an option there for New Zealand postage, other countries $10 or something. And so if you fill that in, then send me a message, then I'll work out how I can send you some product anywhere in the world.
Nice. Yeah. Have you tried selling on Amazon or?
It's everlastingfoundation.com is the website you want to go to.
Oh, I had originally had .com and then I put .co.nz for some reason.
And
just did that.
Mates Rates is just spelled M8SR8S.
Okay.
There we go. Mates Rates M8SR8S gives you a $20 discount, so you can get those anti-aging pills for $50 and start getting younger now.
So how long do you think you have to take them for? Do you take one a day? Do you have to take it with food?
I think if you take 10 of them a day, then after 6 weeks, you become a baby. That's a lie. That was just a bad joke. No, for me, I mean, David Sinclair's taking about 1,000 megs a day. These are, each capsule's got 150 megs of NMN, 150 of NR, so that's 300 together. So that'd be like taking 3 of those every day. Plus, we've put something in to make them absorb better. 3 a day for me is a little bit anxiety provoking. Anxiolytic, that's the word.
Right.
So I would start by taking 1 a day for a little bit and just make sure your body is okay with it, and then go to 2 and just sort of see how you feel. I would take them at the start of the day because if you take them in the afternoon, sometimes your mind is still really active at night when you want to go to sleep. But if you take them at the start of the day, then they actually improve your quality of sleep at night, which is great.
So they give you a little bit of energy or zest.
Yep. Yeah. You could do. I can't. The law says that if someone's selling a dietary supplement, they're not allowed to make a therapeutic claim. So I'm not allowed to utter any sentences that this is going to do anything at all, really, that's going to change your body. But I can say that when your NAD levels are higher, you feel like you've got more energy. That energy is definitely, electricity is flowing better around your cells. And that research in mice has shown that the mice that couldn't run around anymore were able to run around. And personally, I feel more energy, and I'd like to hear from other people as well. So mental clarity as well. Like I took a couple and went into a room one night. It was quite late at night. I thought, I've got to go to a party. I want to make sure that I'm sharp. I'll take a couple of these pills. Walked in, and there was like, I don't know, 8 or 10 people that I didn't know. I said, "G'day," and just asked everybody their name. Or jug, 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 and they just went in. And I just remembered their names all night, and was just like, "Oh, that's different. That's a change." So yeah, the recall's a whole lot better, and that kind of matches what the mice said as well.
Nice. Brilliant.
Yeah. So
very informative. Yeah, it is. It's a major learning curve because you're here to educate people. Because they're not going to know what you know on your level of understanding. And that's what I think every person that comes on this show, they have like a deep understanding of something. That's why we bring them on, because they're brilliant. So have I got that right? Let me bring up that. Is this right?
Bring it on.
Right.
Everlastingfoundation.com. Yes. M8S. Just M8SR8S.
R8S. Okay, got it. Just one second.
Sorry, I was going to try to set one up with Thane's name instead, but I got locked out of my website because that's not my strongest strength, and sometimes I get my IP blocked.
Really? Okay.
So I'm not really the internet guy anymore.
Well, yeah, there's
That's right. That's it. M8SR8S. Yes, very good. See, that could just about be a number plate, isn't it?
It would be a good number plate. We could put this in our show links tomorrow.
In the show.
Yeah, obviously it's right here. Oh, do we have a new? Oh, thank you from Benny.
You're welcome.
Ewan.
So
we said it right.
So if anyone's got a friend or something who's still having a little bit of trouble recovering from the spike proteins or the COVID, then maybe we should send them a sample out as a giveaway.
Yes, maybe we should. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to call in, or you want them to answer a question, or
Not really competition. I don't know. I'm just starting out with the how do you help people out that are in need. You can make them jump over or go under a limbo thing or something. But I reckon just write to us and tell us what's up.
yeah.
Or they could message here, or they could just message me. People can work out how to contact me from this somehow, eh?
Yes. Well, we can contact you on multiple channels.
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook. Are you on Twitter?
Psychic message. I haven't switched on my Twitter for about 7 years. When
Oh, you
things
should.
went
It's
bad,
different now. It's different now. You should. And actually, there's lots of amazing Twitter spaces that you might find beneficial. So,
I don't know. I'm trying to keep my eyesight together, and so staring at the iPhone for more hours a day, it's not where I want to go. I don't think.
yeah, we need that downtime, and just.
I'm on that Facebook, and that kind of saps the energy. And then you try to post something, and then there's people get into arguments, and it gets so heated. So,
Right.
Especially if what you're posting is not the same as what everyone else is trying to say. Mine's not. Yeah.
Maybe just ignore it, and because there's always going to be liveliness on social media, so you really have to sort of pick and choose what you get involved with. It's like, have you explored the NFT space? Because with your music, that could be possible. It's quite
20 or 30 new psychedelic molecules. Take a musical track, chop it up, and put a piece of that on each one, and then sell them, so that use the capital that comes in to then design those molecules and patent them and test them. And so the person who buys the molecule, we send them some of that molecule that they can try themselves, and the best ones we patent and develop into trauma medicines or something,
right.
But
Wow.
a 17-year-old told me that NFTs are very bad for the environment, and so I'm going to find another way of doing that, because next generation really is it energy and resource intensive and mining or something? I don't know.
Oops, I'll just close that one. No, I think, everything's moving online, even, the banking, the crypto thing. It's like,
yeah.
Do you have any shout outs that you want to share? Give?
Ooh, I don't know.
Have you got you should be working on a show or something, surely, because you're an actor, right? Or you're a singer.
No, this is real. I'm not acting. This is actually how I am.
Because I asked someone the other day, I said, babe, have you ever been on stage? Have you ever been a theatre actress? And she's like, no.
Right.
She's a Canadian woman. I just sort of, I can see, like, some people are just, hello, born for the stage. And the stage is actually really fun. It's really fun, and you can be so free and confident in your character. So I think maybe we should start our own talkback production, and I'm going to throw together some auditions, and maybe that'll entice people to come out of their shells.
Out of the shells, yes.
Yeah, look out. We're going to be the next Jane Campion. We're going to be directing the next talkback. Extraordinary production. Yeah, SeleniaProductions.com.
Productions.
Starring Matt Bowden, Thane, Kirby, Benny Mac, Michelle Henderson. Yeah,
How many days is it now since you've had a sleep, Selenia?
Oh no, I slept last night.
Oh, you did? Okay.
But I often have broken sleep. Yeah, I have broken sleep. Yeah, so I'm kind of used to it. But yeah.
What about dreams? I had this dream last night that I was on this planet where the buildings were all big, tall buildings and that, and it's just like a densely populated city, but they didn't have walls on the outside of them. And so you could just kind of see right into everybody's rooms, and everybody had kind of trained themselves not to fall off the edge, And it's just amazing. You could just kind
You should try and draw this. Do you draw?
No, it's just too fast. I was just
Yeah.
trying to hold on to it while I was in the shower, thinking, well, what does this mean? Because usually in my dreams I can work out what they mean, but
Yeah.
this was just like a little bit too far out. Yeah, maybe I should try to draw it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think you should definitely write it down. And yeah, I mean, imagine if we could like actually draw what we visualize. I think artists who can draw and paint
I
very.
love it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love there's some artists that to have that skill to be able to translate something into a visual field like that is just incredible. Yeah.
it
I can
is.
usually say quite a lot of words. Words is my thing, really, and I can express and communicate. That's what my thing is. I can sit down with politicians and swing them around on anything. And most people, like if I meet one of my real haters, normally if you give me like 5 minutes, I can spin them around. I've just got that. That's my thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a talent to put people at ease and not react to, if someone's really angry. And I don't know, I think politicians probably deal with a lot of anxiety, especially like in front of the media. I can't be easy.
It's probably pretty tricky for them. I mean, yeah, once people have turned on you and they hate you, then it's really tricky. Like it was getting a little bit like that for me towards the end of my career in New Zealand. Once they got all the people out protesting in the streets in all the towns about what I was doing, and then they come at you with a camera, then okay, I'm not going
You're
to come
like,
out looking real good. But much I smile today. So for politicians, it must be really hard. They've
yeah,
especially nothing the politicians, in my opinion, nothing they could have done would have really helped. And so they're not looking that crash hot now. It was
yeah.
designed
It's
to.
like, who is running this show? Hello? Who's actually running this country? Come on. Maybe you need to do a business course.
Well, it's not really the government anymore. And I think that the government's going to they've been through a phase of having quite a lot of involvement in deciding what we're going to do every day in our lives. And I think that now that the pendulum's going to go the other way and government's going to have a lot less to do with our day-to-day lives. And we as a community are going to have to pull together because the government's look at it. They're all sort of singing from the same songbook, and they're kind of merging together with industry and those kind of economic forums and stuff. And so they are wanting to, because they're out of cash, they're needing to sort of bow down a little to what the people with the cash want done. And so we're seeing a lot more of government working with industry, and so we as the people, we're not really such a stakeholder in that. We just become like stock. And so what we need to do as people is recognize, okay, the government, they were there to serve us, but they kind of stopped doing that. We need to work together to set up our own social services, to set up our own community, and to look after ourselves and each other, and not be so dependent on the government anymore, because the time for that's kind of really passé. We're moving into another age now where things are going to be different. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Has Selena disappeared? Is it just me? Well, that's okay. Maybe she phased out. That's reality. That's the reality of what I think is happening right at the moment, though, is that the relationship that we have with our governments is changing. And the reason is, like I heard, someone recently talking about how the planet is conscious, and the planet has come into ages in its consciousness and its understanding. And part of that is humans also now suddenly waking up and realizing that we've been in a real dependent state, a codependent state with governments. And now we're sort of waking up and saying, oh, we don't really need to be like that anymore. And it's just a stage of maturity. It's like an evolution of consciousness that's happening at the moment as we come into that next stage of maturity, of looking after each other and not being dependent on the government to do everything for us. There you go. Did you phase out there for a minute?
Oh yeah, the restream tab seemed to have a mini meltdown, and but we didn't lose you. That was amazing. I thought it was just going to crap out and actually end the broadcast, but I think it was just me that disappeared into the oblivion for a few seconds, and then I rose back up.
I just started prophesying the end of the world. You know,
So yeah, I'll just check this in tomorrow's
yeah.
feed. But yeah, wow, that was an in-depth, heroic explanation, and yeah, you shared so much. You've got a lot of integrity, young man. You're a young man with a bright future.
Also, that's what I like to hear. And my young man status, I think, has got something to do with these supplements at the moment. But
Right, awesome. Well, we are going to put all that good stuff in the show notes of where to get them and the coupon code. And we appreciate your time very much. And this is one of the best episodes I've had in a while. And I just want to apologize that Thane Kirby could not be here due to unforeseen circumstances. But he sends his apologies and his love to you.
Is he good? We love Thane.
Oh yeah, he's really good, and he just sends his greetings to you, and yeah, it's just one of those things. And oh, what have I got up there?
Cool.
New website. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a. Oh no, that's not the new website. Our website is talkback.nz. .nz.
Wasn't me.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So we're signing off and saying goodnight to everybody.
You are saying goodnight. Okay, I'll just put you on full screen, and you can say goodnight.
Really? Good night, and don't let the big bugs bite. And just wishing everybody sweet dreams, revelatory dreams, and that when you wake up tomorrow, just the first thing to do is try to capture that dream, and then just review it and remind yourself of what happened, and then decide what is your intention, what do you want to call into your life for that day tomorrow, and then just hold on to that intention until you know the universe has heard it, and then okay, let it happen, and then just write that dream down, and later on come back and look at it. And that's my 2 cents worth. Okay, so be blessed, everybody. Peace and love from Matt.
Beautiful. Wow. What a dude. What a super dude. He's got a lot to offer, and I hope you took that in. I hope you absorbed every word that he said. Because he's a very valuable Kiwi, and we have a lot of extraordinary Kiwis in this country. So, this show is all about celebrating these extraordinary people and promoting their good value works that they do. So tomorrow, the audio of this show will be published on talkback.nz, and also you can rewatch this video anywhere like DLive, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, obviously. Yeah, and we really just appreciate you sticking with us for this. Well, my gosh, we've been going for almost an hour. Over an hour. This is good going for us. Oh, do we have any questions? Oh, we've got a good night from Caroline. Thank you, Caroline. I like the hearts. I love hearts. I love hearts. All colors of hearts. We are building these. Zane, we are building these new cooperatives unconsciously. Yes. Yeah, so if anyone has any burning questions they want to type in, now's the time to do it. Otherwise, we're going to be signing off and wishing you a fine farewell and a deep sleep, as Matt said, and a good night. A good night at 10:15 p.m. If I can just find the right boom ya. Psst, get out of the way. Hey. Yeah, I don't see any other questions, so thank you very much for your time. I have frozen. We're back. We just froze up for a few moments there. That's all part of the business. So especially when we're doing a live stream, these sorts of things happen. So thank you for your understanding, even though I'm on fiber. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up, and please visit us at talkback.nz. And if you want to like shed a few bucks, go to buy me a coffee /talkback, buymeacoffee.com/talkbacknz, and just if you want to give us a few bucks to keep this bloody thing going, we're gonna keep it going. Plus, I won't be paying for my lipstick. I won't be paying for my coffee. I'll be paying for the overheads. I'll be paying for like technical things. So we've got some amazing people lined up we want to bring to you, and we actually want you to apply as a host. So email me, selena@spain.nz, with any questions, queries that you may have. And get amongst, this is the future. So hello. Just do it. Don't hold back. We're here for you, and we want to know what you want your show to be about. So it doesn't have to be about health. It doesn't have to be about sport. It doesn't have to be about performing, acting, dancing. It can be about it doesn't have to be about music. It can be about what you want it to be about. So you just have to email me, and let's figure it out. Okay, bye. Thank you for watching. Bless you.